Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. So I wanted to do, let me introduce myself. I'm Kathy Fisher. I'm the founder of the Concussion Resource Center. We have two of our board members in here as well. We have Emma and Ariana. Do I say your last names? Dr. LeMay and Emma Daly. So those of you who don't know much about Concussion Resource Center, we are a nonprofit and we provide resources to people who've had concussions. I have a lot of information on the table there I wanted to bring people's attention to. March is Brain Injury Awareness Month, and we have a little fact and myth page over there. We also have information about the Resilient Mindset series that Turi is going to be talking about, if you want to pick up one of those flyers. But without much more time, I'd like to go ahead and do a little introduction for Turi. So Turi's been an inspiration to me and many other people in Bozeman for years. I was talking about kind of how long that we have known each other and been going through this. So in 2011, she completed her yoga training, the first 200-hour yoga training, teacher training, and it sparked a deep interest in her in ancient yoga teachings, modern psychology, and neuroscience. And this passion led her to pursue additional certifications in all sorts of things. And she's actually, just knowing Turi, that she loves, she's curious, loves to learn, and loves to learn things that are going to help people. She's actually studying craniosacral therapy right now as far as she gets certified in that. It's a long process. Year-long process? It's a process. So she's also a past board member of the Concussion Resource Center, and she continues to support us in many different ways. She guides a lot of our offerings that we have, and she also collaborates with the board, and we wouldn't be what we are without her. So to give you a little background about today's presentation, before Concussion Resource Center was formed, I asked her to present to a support group that I was doing and talk about principles of meditation to a concussion support group. And she, being the person that she is, she started to look up information about concussion to learn more about it so she could connect with the group she was going to be speaking with. And then she found LoveYourBrain, which is a national nonprofit for people who've had brain injuries, providing a lot of mindfulness and other training and workshops and retreats and all sorts of things. If you aren't familiar with LoveYourBrain, please look it up. It's amazing what they do. They just had a summit this past weekend. Did you attend some of it?
I did not.
It's some great talks.
Yeah.
And so it was 2.5 days of information. It was a lot of information, but luckily they were recorded and I was able to go back and watch some of those. So let's see from there. So one of the programs that she learned about and was trained in is the Mindset Series. And she brought this Mindset Series to Bozeman and to the Concussion Resource Center. For the LoveYourBrain, they're just doing it online. And so it's nice that we can do it actually in person, which I think is really important to do it in person. It's one of my favorite offerings that we have. I don't want to be biased, but I don't know why I just love this one. So you're going to learn more about why I love this one. I could go on and on about Turi and all the wonderful things that she does for our community and our friendship over the years, but I'll go ahead and let her speak because that's who you came to listen to.
Thank you, Kathy. Hi, welcome. I'm happy to be here to present about the Positive and Resilient Mindset Series. So I've been working with LoveYourBrain with this Mindset Series for nearly 10 years. And so the curriculum is based on that. And before we dive into it, there we go. I would like to start this session the same way we start our sessions in the Mindset Series. And that's with mindfulness practice that we call CALM. And that stands for chest, arms, legs, and mind. So go ahead and sit in a way that you feel comfortable. You might soften your gaze, or if you feel comfortable, you could even close your eyes. And just feel yourself here in this room, kind of orienting to the space around you as you feel the floor beneath you, the ceiling above, and the walls around you. And then you might begin to just feel your body breathing, taking a slow breath in and a slow breath out. Feeling your body breathing at a pace that is just right for you. Your chest gently expanding and softening in synchrony with your breath. Bringing your attention to your arms, your shoulders, your hands. And as best you can, soften your shoulders 5% more. Then letting your attention drop down to your legs, sensing the steadiness of your connection of your seat to the chair, your feet to the floor. Feeling your legs from the inside out. Finally, cross your arms over at your elbows and gently massage your way up your arms from your elbows to your shoulders. And then slide your hands to rest one on top of the other over your heart. And feel into this caring place and whatever it may be holding for you right now. And feel how we are all showing up here from a place of care. Take a slow breath in and a slow breath out. One more time, a slow breath in and a slow breath out. You might gently blink open your eyes if they're closed. And that's the way we start our mindset series each week. Why meditation? Why mindfulness? That one kind of illustrates how we can feel. And then when we bring in aspects of mindfulness, how things can maybe seem a little bit more calm, clear, and bright. So research shows that mindfulness and meditation improve attention skills by increasing the thickness of the prefrontal cortex associated with focus and decision making, as well as augmenting memory by changing brain structures associated with memory, including the hippocampus. Mindfulness and meditation can help enhance self-esteem and enhance community integration. Reduce mental fatigue by supporting better information processing, as well as reducing stress by shrinking the amygdala, our fear and anxiety response center. And community and connection is a huge part of this program as well. Brain injury can be an isolating experience. After a concussion or a mild traumatic brain injury, many people experience fatigue, brain fog, sensitivity to light and sound, emotional changes, difficulty keeping up with work or social life. And because of this, people often withdraw from normal activities, and others may not fully understand what they're going through. And this can lead to loneliness, disconnection, which we know are risk factors for depression and anxiety, prolonged recovery, and increased stress on the nervous system. Hi, welcome. So community becomes more than a nice extra. It becomes part of the healing environment. Social connection helps regulate the nervous system. Healing from concussion involves calming and retraining the nervous system. Positive social connections can help lower stress hormones, increase oxytocin, a bonding and calming hormone, improve emotional regulation, create a sense of safety. And when people feel seen, heard, and supported, the nervous system shifts out of a chronic threat response and into a state where healing is possible. Number 3, Shared experience reduces fear and uncertainty. When people with concussion worry, why am I not better yet? Is this normal? Will I ever feel myself again? Anybody ever felt that? Being in community with others who understand the experience helps people. It normalizes the symptoms, reduces the fear, helps gain practical coping strategies, and builds hope. And I think I just stapled my notes together a little awkward. Sorry. And research consistently shows that peer support improves recovery outcomes in many chronic and neurological conditions. Number 4, community helps build identity and confidence. Concussion can disrupt a person's sense of self. Athletes may feel that they've lost their identity. Professionals may struggle with the cognitive demands. And caregivers may feel unable to function in their usual roles. A supportive community space allows people to reconnect with their strengths, to rebuild confidence gradually, and to rediscover purpose and meaning. And this is a key part of developing a resilient mindset. Recovery from concussion isn't just about healing the brain physically, it's also about healing the nervous system, restoring confidence, and reconnecting with life. One of the most powerful supports for that process is community. When we feel understood and supported, our nervous system settles, hope grows, and the brain has a better environment for healing. Healing happens in community, not in isolation. And trauma heals in healthy relationships where one is seen, heard, validated, and respected. Those images are from a LoveYourBrain retreat in Colorado. Highlights from previous participants in the Mindset series here in Bozeman. These are from people that have participated over the last few years. When I ask what are some key takeaways or what are some highlights, that sense of I am not alone, I am resilient, I am grateful, I am enough. They might not have felt that coming in, so that's huge. Highlights for me were community connection and more grace around my healing process. Every week was exceptionally valuable and contained gems that impacted me for positive healing. The closeness I felt with the group, being able to discuss hard topics with people who understood what I feel at a deep level, and every week it made me dig deep and challenge me. I have implemented something I learned every week into my daily routine. A deeper understanding of the impact on families and loved ones. Caregivers are welcome to participate as well, and so it can give them another perspective as well, both those that have had an injury and the caregivers when they hear from other people going through similar experiences. And that's what that one is speaking more to. Meeting like-minded people. It's very, very beneficial to see and hear from others with similar experiences, and we always have something to be grateful for. So the Mindset series is a 6-week series, and we meet once a week. We set the stage in the very beginning with agreements of respect, vulnerability, confidentiality, and inclusion. So we've kind of all agreed upon those at the outset of the program. And we spend the first few minutes with that calm meditation to help us to land, to shift from whatever we were doing earlier to that time that we've set aside. And then we have, or I offer an educational talk on whatever our weekly theme is and how it applies to the concussion journey. And then we have a facilitated group discussion around that topic. And then we wrap up with a short closing meditation. So the topics of the 6 weeks are resilience, our ability to bounce back from adversity and find our way forward. Mindfulness, paying attention to our present experience. thoughts, emotions, sensations, and our environment with a sense of curiosity and kindness. Intentions, they help us to establish more empowering thoughts, beliefs, and therefore actions to achieve positive change. Realistic optimism is our fourth week, and that reinforces the belief that progress comes with effort and learning new approaches to new challenges. Positive thinking, a tool to help us recognize and interrupt ants, and that's automatic negative thoughts. We all have automatic negative thoughts, but those can be exacerbated after a concussion. And so to have tools and resources to help interrupt that negative thought loop and be able to kind of step off of that can be really powerful. And then gratitude. Gratitude counteracts negative feelings and orients the mind to better appreciate what we have rather than focusing on what we don't have. So that's an overview of the 6 weeks. And our next one is starting next week on Fridays from 4 to 5 p.m. And I'd love to ask those that are here today that have participated in previous sessions if they would be willing to share a takeaway or something that you feel would be really helpful for somebody that's thinking like, is this something I want to participate in? I don't know. Maybe saying something about your experience could be helpful.
Maybe even either get a microphone to speak into or go up there and use a microphone. But we're recording this. If you don't mind.
Do you want to me to? You want to get? Okay.
You're gonna be recorded and be seen.
You want to come up and join me or stay seated? Okay. I'll step aside.
Hi, my name is Jared Joyce, and it's difficult to add to what you've already said. I think you covered it all. So first, it's all true. It's all great. Turi is impressive on a lot of levels. So with this program, great facilitator, but I've done 3 of her courses, and she's an amazing teacher. So everything that Kathy said, it's like total package. As it relates to my own experience, you've probably heard that TBI is seen as the invisible injury. And so in the group, you do really feel as though after all this isolation and all these medical appointments and all this time spent away from the life you knew, finally, as you're going around the room each week, like, wow, these are my people. They understand. And you don't have to prove anything, just in the conversation and working through each topic each week, it's clear. So glad to share what I can. If you're interested, I'd highly encourage you to attend. It's great work being done each week.
Thanks, Jared.
Thanks, Jared.
And Amelia, I know you didn't participate in a local one, but you did the Love Your Brain series. And so if you want to speak to the benefits of the program that way.
And even to let people know that there's the remote ones as well.
Yes. So I am new to Bozeman as of August. I moved here for grad school, which is huge having a TBI. Like I really had no idea if that was in the cards for me. My concussion was in 2021 and I was 22 and I was like eventually was able to access medical care. But I had like a rather medically isolating journey because I was in doctor's appointments, I was in offices, but I was so desperate to meet other people who were going through something else. And so at the time, because I was not here, I did the remote option directly through Love Your Brain. And I specifically did a young adult group. I think that the online forum like is not going to be as wonderful as being in person. There is something so important about the like few minutes as you take your shoes off, like where you get to talk to other people. But it was still a really, really powerful experience because for the first time, I didn't feel so alone in this. And like I was the only one navigating this really complex world. And I found that that was really helpful because it wasn't just speaking to the fact that like, how do I like fix this, but also like, oh my gosh, like how do I think about my life after this? And so I have participated in the Mindset series remotely twice. And then I also did attend a Love Your Brain retreat, which I would really recommend, and I think is another really cool thing in the same line of like what I really wanted to talk about, and sort of my experience with TBI was that while I got back to a point where, like, quote unquote, on paper, things look really good for me. I'm working, I'm driving, like, I feel so lucky for those things. There are all these other things that are still really difficult for me and that are still hard. And like what you're talking about with that invisibility. And so that's been sort of helpful to have this backbone of community and belonging. And then I would also like to recommend Turi's incredible Concussion Resource Center Yoga Nidra on Friday. That's been another source of community. So while I'm not actively in one of these mindset series, I feel like I'm engaging with those principles weekly. And I know they're not like exactly the same, but the same idea of like seeing faces who are going through these things, having other people to talk to, I think really stands. And I think of that. That's a great resource, and it's great that it's here, and it's great that it's in person. But if you're watching this and you're not, like it exists online too, and I think that those can work, though that like taking off your shoes time doesn't exist.
Yeah. Thank you, Amelia. Amelia and I actually met at the retreat, and then she ended up moving to Bozeman, so that was fun. Does anybody have any questions? I think our participants really shared some valuable information, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. All righty. Well, thank you.
Thank you.